The energy inside Nike Fort Taguig reached a level that few people expected. What began as an ordinary public appearance suddenly transformed into a scene that looked more like a movie premiere than a tennis event. Within minutes, phones were in the air, crowds were pressing closer, security moved into position, and one name echoed through the building louder and louder. Eala. The rising tennis star has become one of the biggest names in Philippine sports, and if anyone still questioned just how massive her popularity has become, what unfolded in Taguig may have answered that question once and for all. Fans weren't simply asking for photos. They were cheering, calling her name, holding up tennis balls, rackets, posters, and homemade signs, hoping for just a few unforgettable seconds with the athlete they've watched climb the international rankings. Social media exploded almost instantly as videos flooded every major platform, with thousands of people debating whether this was one of the biggest public receptions a Filipino tennis player has ever received. But that wasn't the only reason everyone was watching. There was another destination waiting later that day, a highly anticipated visit that had already fueled enormous discussion online. As excitement inside Nike Fort Taguig reached its peak, questions spread across social media faster than anyone could answer them. Why was this appearance generating so much attention? What would happen next? And could this moment mark another turning point in Eala's remarkable rise from promising young talent to one of the country's most celebrated sporting figures? The cameras were rolling. The crowd kept growing. And what happened after those doors opened had everyone refreshing their feeds, searching for the next update before anyone else could find it. The moment Eala stepped into Nike Fort Taguig, the atmosphere changed in an instant. Conversations stopped mid-sentence, shoppers turned toward the entrance, and dozens of phones shot into the air almost simultaneously. What had been a normal day at the store suddenly felt like a major sporting event, with every corner buzzing as fans realized they were witnessing one of the country's fastest-rising tennis stars in person. Within moments, the crowd swelled. Families, students, longtime tennis supporters, and curious shoppers all pressed forward, hoping to catch a glimpse of the athlete whose recent performances had captured attention far beyond the tennis world. Security staff quickly organized pathways through the store as employees tried to keep everything running smoothly while accommodating the growing excitement. Videos began appearing online almost immediately. Every angle showed the same scene from a different perspective. Smiling fans, cheers echoing across the store, and Alex calmly greeting supporters despite the increasingly hectic environment. Clips spread rapidly across social media, drawing reactions from people who hadn't even planned to follow the event that day. Comments poured in by the thousands. "She's become a superstar. This is unbelievable. Look at that crowd. Philippine tennis has never felt this exciting." The excitement wasn't just about one appearance. For many supporters, it represented something much bigger. Eala's rise had inspired countless young athletes who now believed they, too, could compete on the world's biggest stages. Parents pointed her out to their children. Young players clutched rackets while waiting patiently for a chance to wave or say hello. Every smile, every handshake, and every autograph carried meaning for fans who had followed her journey for years. Inside the store, Nike displays became the backdrop for hundreds of photos. Every few seconds, another camera flashed. Every few moments, another fan celebrated after getting the selfie they had hoped for. Staff members smiled as they watched the excitement unfold, realizing this appearance had become far more significant than anyone expected. Alex remained composed throughout the growing commotion. She greeted supporters, acknowledged cheers from every direction, and took time to recognize as many people as possible despite the ever-expanding crowd. That calm demeanor only seemed to increase admiration from those watching. Online, sports pages rapidly shared fresh footage. News outlets reposted clips. Fan accounts stitched together videos from different angles, creating a nearly minute-by-minute timeline of the appearance. Hashtags related to Eala quickly gained momentum as discussions expanded beyond tennis communities. Some users called the gathering proof that Filipino tennis had entered a new era. Others argued it showed how much the country's sporting landscape had evolved, with athletes outside traditionally dominant sports now attracting enormous public attention. The debate itself only amplified interest. Every new upload attracted thousands more viewers. Every fresh clip generated another wave of comments. The momentum fed itself. Meanwhile, those inside the store noticed something else. Even after getting photos, many fans chose to stay instead of leaving. They simply wanted to watch. Some hoped Alex might say a few words. Others wanted one last glimpse before she departed for her next engagement. Children sat on their parents' shoulders. Friends compared the videos they had already recorded. Content creators rushed to edit short clips before competitors could upload similar footage. The event had transformed into one of the day's biggest online conversations. As excitement continued building, speculation naturally followed. Not because of hidden conspiracies, but because everyone wanted to know what came next. Reports had already mentioned that Alex's schedule included another significant appearance later in the day, and anticipation surrounding that next stop added another layer of curiosity. Questions spread rapidly across comment sections. Would the crowds be even larger? How would security manage another public appearance? Could this become one of the most memorable days of her career off the court? No one had definitive answers, but everyone wanted to find out. Back inside Nike Fort Taguig, employees carefully coordinated with organizers as the visit continued. The atmosphere remained energetic yet respectful, with supporters applauding whenever Alex acknowledged another section of the crowd. Rather than chaos, the overwhelming feeling was pride. Fans celebrated seeing one of their own achieve international recognition while remaining approachable during a public appearance. Sports commentators soon joined the online conversation. Several noted how quickly Alex's popularity had expanded alongside her success in professional tennis. They pointed out that strong performances naturally bring greater visibility, but moments like this demonstrated a deeper connection between athlete and supporters. That connection became impossible to ignore. Every interaction reinforced it. Every smiling face reflected it. Every shared video multiplied it. As the scheduled appearance gradually drew toward its conclusion, movement near the exit signaled that preparations for departure were beginning. Security personnel adjusted their positions, organizers exchanged brief updates, and cameras instantly pivoted toward the doors. The excitement surged once more. Supporters gathered along the pathway, applauding as Alex made her way through the crowd. More phones appeared overhead. More cheers echoed across the store. The farewell felt almost as energetic as the arrival. Outside, additional spectators had assembled after hearing about the appearance through live streams and viral posts. Some had arrived only minutes earlier, hoping they hadn't missed the opportunity completely. Others simply wanted to witness the moment firsthand, even if only from a distance. Vehicles waited nearby as organizers coordinated the next destination. The online audience watched closely. The people on site leaned forward. Everyone sensed the day wasn't over. If anything, it felt like the biggest chapter was still about to begin. As Alex's vehicle prepared to leave Nike Fort Taguig, another wave of notifications lit up across thousands of phones. Fresh images from her next destination were already beginning to surface, and judging by the first reactions, the crowds waiting there appeared even larger than anyone had predicted. As Eala's convoy pulled away from Nike Fort Taguig, the excitement refused to fade. If anything, it seemed to spread faster than the vehicle itself. Every few seconds, another video from the appearance surfaced online, each capturing a different angle of the remarkable reception. Fans who had been lucky enough to attend replayed their favorite moments, while thousands of others watched from their phones, wishing they had been there in person. Across social media, timelines became flooded with clips showing supporters cheering, waving tennis balls, jerseys, and homemade posters. Sports pages quickly assembled highlight reels, and within minutes, countless creators were offering their own reactions. Some described the gathering as one of the most memorable public appearances by a Filipino tennis player in recent memory, while others pointed to it as another sign that the country's enthusiasm for tennis had reached new heights. The comments continued to pour in. Many praised Alex for remaining patient and approachable despite the size of the crowd. Others admired how she acknowledged fans of every age, from young children dreaming of becoming athletes to longtime supporters who had followed her career since her junior tournaments. One recurring sentiment stood out above all the others. People weren't simply celebrating a successful athlete. They were celebrating a story. For many Filipinos, Alex's rise represented years of dedication, sacrifice, and persistence finally paying off on one of the biggest stages in world tennis. That emotional connection explained why every public appearance carried so much significance. Meanwhile, anticipation surrounding her next destination continued to build. News organizations began preparing live updates, photographers hurried to secure favorable positions, and television crews coordinated their coverage. The expectation was unmistakable. Wherever Alex arrived next, another memorable scene could unfold. Outside the venue, supporters had already begun gathering well before her arrival. Some carried Philippine flags, while others held signs expressing congratulations and encouragement. Families stood together despite the heat, hoping to witness even a brief glimpse of the athlete whose recent performances had inspired so many. The atmosphere felt less like a routine appearance and more like a celebration. As vehicles approached, the crowd erupted into applause. Heads turned simultaneously, cameras lifted into the air. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Alex stepped out to another wave of cheers. Supporters greeted her warmly, calling her name with unmistakable excitement. Security personnel carefully guided the pathway, ensuring that the growing crowd remained orderly while allowing fans to experience the occasion. The enthusiasm was undeniable, but so was the respect shown by those in attendance. Every few steps, another chorus of applause echoed through the gathering. Photographers captured frame after frame. Television cameras followed every movement. Within minutes, fresh images began circulating online, joining the already viral content from earlier in the day. Sports commentators quickly noticed an interesting pattern. The discussion was no longer focused solely on rankings or tournament results. Instead, many conversations centered on the broader impact Alex was having on Philippine sports. Youth coaches described increased interest in tennis programs. Parents shared stories about children asking for tennis lessons after watching her matches. Former athletes spoke about the importance of visible role models who inspire the next generation. Those reactions added another dimension to the day's events. This wasn't only about one appearance. It was about momentum. It was about visibility. It was about inspiration. Online discussions reflected that shift. Fans shared favorite highlights from Alex's career, revisiting memorable victories and breakthrough performances that had fueled her growing popularity. Clips from previous tournaments reappeared alongside the newest videos, creating a timeline that showcased how far she had come. The excitement continued well into the afternoon. News alerts highlighted the remarkable public turnout. Sports programs replayed footage repeatedly. Comment sections filled with messages of support from viewers around the world. Even people who admitted they rarely watch tennis found themselves following the story, intrigued by the overwhelming public response. Throughout it all, Alex maintained the composed demeanor that supporters had come to admire. She smiled for photographs, acknowledged cheers, and accepted congratulations with quiet appreciation. That consistency only strengthened the admiration expressed by fans both on-site and online. Observers noted how naturally she handled the attention despite the rapidly growing spotlight. Public appearances can be demanding, especially when expectations continue to rise, yet she remained focused and gracious from beginning to end. As the event progressed, organizers began preparing for the conclusion of the day's schedule. Equipment was packed away, media crews conducted final interviews, and supporters slowly began sharing their last photos before heading home. But the conversation was far from over. In fact, it was only the beginning. Throughout the evening, videos from both appearances continued climbing across social media platforms. Sports analysts discussed what the reception revealed about the current state of Philippine tennis. Fans debated their favorite moments, exchanged stories from those who attended, and expressed excitement for Alex's upcoming tournaments. The day's events had become something larger than a single appearance. They had become a snapshot of a remarkable moment in Philippine sports, a reminder of how one athlete's achievements can unite supporters, inspire young dreamers, and generate excitement far beyond the court. And with new competitions still ahead, many were already asking the same question. If this was the reception before the next chapter of Eala's journey, what extraordinary scenes might unfold when she returns after her next major success? As evening settled over the city, the excitement from earlier in the day showed no signs of slowing down. Instead of fading, it spread even further across social media as new clips, clearer angles, and behind-the-scenes moments continued to appear. Every refresh seemed to reveal another perspective of the remarkable reception Eala had received, and every new upload reignited the conversation. Sports fans who had missed the appearance watched the highlights repeatedly, trying to understand what it felt like to stand inside that crowd. Those who had attended eagerly shared their own experiences, describing the roar that erupted when Alex first appeared and the excitement that filled the venue from beginning to end. For many, it wasn't simply another athlete making a public appearance. It felt like witnessing a milestone. Comment sections became filled with messages celebrating not only Alex's recent achievements, but also the growing visibility of tennis in the Philippines. Young players wrote that they had been inspired to practice harder. Coaches shared stories about increasing interest in local tennis programs. Parents posted photos of children holding rackets while saying they hoped to follow in Alex's footsteps someday. That wave of inspiration quickly became one of the biggest talking points online. Sports analysts joined the discussion, pointing out that moments like these often reflect more than individual success. They can represent a turning point for an entire sport, encouraging new fans to watch, new athletes to compete, and new opportunities to emerge. Television programs replayed footage throughout the evening. Online publications highlighted the enthusiastic turnout. Reaction videos appeared across multiple platforms. Everywhere people looked, the same story continued gaining momentum. The remarkable public response also prompted conversations about the importance of role models in modern sports. Former athletes praised Alex's professionalism, noting how she balanced growing popularity with composure during an extremely busy schedule. They emphasized that remaining approachable while representing one's country at the highest levels requires dedication both on and off the court. Those observations resonated with viewers. Many commented that what impressed them most wasn't simply the size of the crowd, but the way Alex interacted with supporters throughout the day. Whether posing for photographs, greeting young fans, or acknowledging cheers, she maintained the calm, respectful presence that has become one of her defining characteristics. As more footage emerged, viewers noticed countless small moments that had initially gone unnoticed. A young fan beaming after receiving a wave, friends celebrating together after capturing a memorable photo. Families applauded as Alex made her way through the crowd. Those genuine reactions became just as meaningful as the headlines themselves. The conversation soon expanded beyond the day's appearances. Attention shifted toward the future. Supporters began discussing upcoming tournaments, wondering what the next chapter of Alex's career might hold. Every strong performance now carried even greater anticipation because the connection between athlete and fans had clearly grown stronger. Across social media, optimism became the dominant theme. People reflected on how quickly Alex's journey had progressed from promising junior talent to internationally recognized competitor. Others revisited career highlights, sharing clips from memorable victories and discussing how each milestone had contributed to this moment of widespread recognition. It became clear that the excitement surrounding Nike Fort Taguig and the later public appearance was about far more than a single day. It was the culmination of years of hard work, years of training, years of perseverance, years of believing that Philippine tennis could reach new heights. That realization gave the story emotional weight far beyond the viral videos. By late evening, hashtags related to Alex continued trending among sports discussions. News outlets summarized the day's events, emphasizing the overwhelming support she had received from fans. Commentators described the appearances as another indication of her growing influence within Philippine sports. For supporters, however, the memories were much more personal. Some would remember the brief smile they received. Others would treasure a single photograph. Many would simply remember the feeling of being present during a day that celebrated one of the country's brightest sporting stars. As conversations continued into the night, one conclusion emerged again and again. Eala's journey is still unfolding. Every tournament brings new challenges. Every victory introduces new opportunities. Every appearance attracts new supporters. And if the scenes witnessed throughout the day are any indication, the enthusiasm surrounding her career may continue to grow with every passing season. The crowds may eventually disperse. The cameras may stop recording. The trending topics will inevitably change. But the inspiration created by moments like these can last much longer, encouraging future generations to dream bigger, train harder, and believe that they too can compete on the world's biggest stages. If this remarkable day demonstrated anything, it is that extraordinary performances on the court have the power to create unforgettable moments far beyond it. For countless fans who watched in person or followed along online, this wasn't merely another stop on a busy schedule. It was a celebration of achievement, national pride, and the excitement of watching an exceptional athlete continue her remarkable journey. And with every tournament still ahead, supporters will be watching closely, wondering what unforgettable chapter comes next. If you've enjoyed following this incredible story, now is the perfect time to become part of the conversation. Hit the like button if you believe Eala's journey is inspiring a new generation of athletes. Share your thoughts in the comments. What was your favorite moment from this unforgettable day? And what achievement do you think she'll accomplish next? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest updates, match highlights, inspiring stories, and unforgettable moments from the world of tennis. Every week brings new milestones, new challenges, and new reasons to celebrate the athletes who continue making history. Join thousands of passionate fans who love following every step of the journey. The next headline, the next breakthrough, and the next unforgettable celebration could happen at any moment, and you won't want to miss a single second.